Good morning. Oh, I got to tip this down a little bit. Welcome to your Friday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm a few minutes late because I was texting with my daughter who is on her grand adventure, and it was a good conversation. So I wanted to be sure to give that the time it deserved. So, hope your Friday's off to a good start. Good morning, Jonelle. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. Hello, hello. And Abigail, welcome. People starting to pop in. And we have an interesting card today. Both from the perspective that it fits in well with the themes we've been hearing. Thank you for the sunrise and sunshine. And good morning, Ruth Ann. Welcome. Glad to see you here. And also because of what it stirs us to consider within us. So, I think you'll like this card. And we haven't seen this deck in a while. Priestess of Light. Priestess of Light deck. Good morning, good morning. Welcome. Waiting for everybody to kind of roll in here. And let's just, I feel the need to do a little tapping. So let's just do the chest point and breathe. Good morning, Janine. Glad you are here. Just doing some tapping. Good morning to all of those who either your name didn't pop up or you popped on past really fast. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, good morning. Everybody here on this fine Friday. Just tapping and receiving and opening. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you are here. We missed your mom last night. I'm not sure why she didn't pop on, but they're going to make sure they get her on the rotation, so should be good. Good morning, Cindy. Waving back at you. Just tapping here just to open everything up. Get our heart ready for receiving this message. So, again, Priestess of Light deck. Sandra Ann Taylor and Kimberly Weber. And the card, I don't think I've ever seen this card before. Very interesting card. Kind of fits in with my dream last night. I had this strange dream that we were all out in the rain. It was all people out in the rain, running for cover in pole buildings in an industrial park. And people kept changing from building to building, therefore guaranteeing they were going to get wet. It was an odd dream. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I might do the technique with it and see what we get. So here's today's card. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. And things to note in the card, there is a snake. And there is, down at the bottom, there are some swans. They're kind of hard to see, but they're right here. So it's a very intricate card. There's a lot going on, but I'll read you the words and I think that'll help. The card is called Power Over Difficulty, Reclaiming Your Power. That sound like it might be useful to any of us? Oh, look at that. It turned us into practical rubble. There's a little giggle for today. That's cool. Good morning. Yes, my practical rebels. But maybe there's rubble sometimes. I mean, in terms of this card, Power Over Difficulty, that would suggest that there's periodic rubble. So let's see what it has to tell us. And again, I need to be cautious with this book because this is the one that kind of disintegrated and all the pages fell out. So I gotta see if I can get it. There we go. All the pages are loose. So we'll see what we can do here. So for this card, listen with your intuitive ear, that wise part of you that knows which part of this message is yours to hang on to, all right? Power Over Difficulty, Reclaiming Your Power. This card brings you a warning that there are situations, people, or patterns in your life threatening to take over. For me, the one I'm identifying as I read that verse line is work. That I am pouring too much into work and need to create some balance here. The snake can be venomous, tempting, and even strangling. This card is an important reminder to be honest with yourself and investigate your relationships and your daily activities to determine what may be harmful or dishonoring to you, or even consuming you. And again, when it's a familiar pattern, we fall back into it so easily, don't we? We kind of go on autopilot, and pretty soon we're down the road a ways and we go, how did I get here again? And if you end up there again, there's still more to learn about that pattern. There's still more to learn to release, etc. So I see my little slow connection thing again, but it just went away. We had all manner of phone difficulties yesterday. So maybe there's still some things they haven't fixed yet. I guess there was a huge AT&T outage and a couple other carriers were struggling, etc. So mine said slow connection. We'll see if it hangs in there. If someone is bringing toxic energy to your life, it may be necessary to let that person go or at least reduce your exposure dramatically. If a situation seems to be suffocating you or sapping your sense of freedom and enthusiasm, it's time to rethink your motivation for remaining engaged. That I thought was a powerful sentence. I'm going to read it again, real slow, so we all get it, right? Second time from the top. If a situation seems to be suffocating you or sapping your sense of freedom and enthusiasm, it's time to rethink your motivation for remaining engaged. And I had two things pop up when I read that sentence. So those will be my journaling prompts for today. And if you're feeling a building resentment for a job or a personal task, this card is telling you to learn how to bring more conscious joy to the experience or even to exit it altogether. Exactly. Yes, that phone thing was interesting. And it kind of did give us the perspective of what we take for granted, right? Sometimes we don't pay attention to things until they fail to work. Kind of like this card is saying, right? Here we are again. Interesting that it paused right there, because I think meant to take some time. So right now, I want you to think about your own personal patterns. Where do you have a personal pattern that's creating difficulty for you or sapping the energy out of your life? Are you trolling the news? Are you spending too much time on social media? Are you playing too many phone games? Exactly. What would happen if there was a total grid blackout? My sister said, I don't think I'm getting rid of my landline like I thought I was. You know, what can you not do when some of those things fail? All right? And how are you going to back yourself up so that you're good even if they do fail, right? Let's see. Consider the causes of your own making and the results they're creating. Consider the causes of your own making. How do we make our own lives difficult? How do we get in our own way? How do we hang on to those very self-defeating patterns? You don't want to become the snake that eats its own tail, consuming your own life force and sabotaging your own desire to move forward. Yet always remember the indomitable spirit of your the indomitable strength of your inner spirit and true life force, represented here in the card at the bottom by the swans. Right over the word over, you can see one, and right over the beginning of diff in difficulty, you can see the other. So let's see here. Who, in spite of their gentle beauty, are very powerful creatures, capable of striking anything that attacks. So again, we're in the war image stuff. Good morning, Cheryl. But I think we can look at that also from the resilience perspective. You want to see things happen. Put a bunch of women under pressure, right? They will make stuff happen. And that tenacity, that stick-to-itiveness, the I've got a job to do and I'll do it, is part of what we're talking about here. And being brutally honest with ourselves about where we've drifted into misleading ourselves. So again, I go back to our questions from the other day. What am I missing? In other words, our blind spot. Where am I wrong? In other words, our assumption, the stories we're telling ourselves, the stories that make us feel good but may ignore a root cause of something. And what do I need to learn? What do I need to learn? And if we're circling through, don't beat yourself up about what the answers you find there. If we're circling through something again and again and again, clearly we haven't figured out all of the pieces of that we need to figure out yet. So we'll have another opportunity to circle through. Okay, let's see here. You have that power as well. And this card is telling you to strike out at your own self-sabotaging behaviors and to break free from any other limiting influences holding you down. Now, my caveat to that, my adjustment to that would be, rather than doing that in the divine masculine way, attacking those things, I would rather have us approach it in the divine feminine way. Be curious, receive your answers, learn where you're misleading yourself, learn where you're telling yourself a story simply because it's habit rather than because it's true. Okay? Then be brave and step out of that story. Write a new story. Even asking yourself the question, what would be a more accurate story here? So I'm going to pick one that's pretty blatant, but many people get caught in it. Staying with someone who's a batterer. Someone who has that pattern of building up tension, building up tension, building up tension, beating you up, then sliding into remorse, and it'll never happen again until it happens again. That's a very clear place where oftentimes people are telling themselves stories. It's never going to happen again. I was told it's never going to happen again. I'm going to hang on to that. Everybody has, positive attributes and negative attributes. Maybe this isn't such a big deal. Maybe I earned this. Maybe I caused this, like that person says I did. Blah, blah, blah. There's the story. If you can be brave and look at the story. No, this pattern has gone on for 8 years. It's time for something to be different here. That kind of bravery to step into a new pattern. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than this. And you can do this with a lot of things. It can be a job that's holding you down. It can be or a job with the golden handcuffs where it pays you incredibly well, but you're miserable every day when you're there. My son was just telling me about a friend of his who had a civil engineering job, and he was absolutely miserable. And he quit, and he's working at a bike store, and he's happy as a clam. Sometimes we need to make the leap. Good morning, Allison. Haven't seen you in forever. Awesome, awesome. Our card today is Power Over Difficulty, reclaiming your power. Reclaiming your power. So let's keep going here. You have that power as well, and this card is telling you to strike out at your own self-sabotaging patterns and to break free from any other limiting influences holding you down. And again, my thought is, rather than the divine masculine striking out at, do the divine feminine. Discern, listen, get quiet. You have the ability to know what's in your highest and best good. It's all within you. It's all within you. Become conscious and courageous in your ongoing choices. You have the power now. The affirmation is, I release toxic people and patterns from my life. I empower myself in my choices and in my relationships. So no longer being Midwest nice, no longer going along to get along. Call things. I'm glad you needed that. Oh dear, yes. Yes. So it's figuring out, good morning, Carolyn. It is figuring out, your boundaries. Where are your boundaries? What will you do? What won't you do? And we all know the system is difficult. I think you're still in Michigan, right? I'm in Wisconsin, and the prison system here is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And they've done comparisons of our system to Minnesota and other surrounding states, and we are in not good circumstances. But there are some groups that are really doing some powerful advocacy, including a group of people who are formerly incarcerated. So that's one of those things that I really love, kind of like the Poor People's Campaign, where it's the people who've been impacted becoming the leaders in changing something in particular. So, but yes, keep aware of your boundaries, what's healthiest for you. And oftentimes, there need to be boundaries set with our kids, right? I will go this far, I'm not going any further. For years, my daughter's in a great spot now, but for years when she was a late teen and early 20s, I can't tell you the number of times that I had to say to her on the phone, you're a smart young woman, I'm sure you will figure this out. And that she'd slam the phone down or hang it up. It used to be able to slam it down, not hers. But anyway, she'd hang up on me. A couple days later, she'd call back and she'd go, I figured it out. Yep, early 20s. Yep. And remember our early 20s. We had some pretty gnarly experiences at that point, right? Did we learn from them? Hopefully, we learned from them. That's what the difficulties in life are about. That's what the obstacles in life are about. They are our opportunities to learn something and our opportunities to get on a healthier path. Do we always choose those opportunities? No. But if we don't, they tend to come around again and again and again until we go, okay, I'm banging my head against the same wall. Time to do something different, right? So stay strong, Al. Hang in there. This is the nature of parenting. Sometimes things don't go well. My daughter is now 30. She's on an adventure. She was miserable doing what she was doing. Saved up a bunch of money, packed up her car, and she's traveling all over the place. Now she decided she's heading south again because she was in Arizona and was planning on going to Portland, but the mountain passes are full of snow and she didn't want to buy chains. So she's headed a different direction. We do that. When we can course correct, when we can change where we're headed, things change. So, yes, we'll send you good juju, Al. We'll send you lots of good juju. We know, man, most of us have been there, done that. So, again, here is our card. Power over difficulty, reclaiming your power. Again, I'm going to suggest that the best thing we can do to assist us in reclaiming our power is get still. Get quiet. Yes, I'm glad you were going to ask, Cindy. Yes. So she's tootling along and has had a change of plans. And I actually read her, sent her the 3 questions this morning because as we're discerning our way through life, we want to be asking ourselves those questions. What am I missing? Where am I wrong? What do I need to learn? Being brutally honest with ourselves about those answers really helps us chart our course in this world. So, your mission for today is I want you to ask yourself those questions. I want you to spend just even a few minutes getting quiet, getting still, and then discerning. Asking yourself those questions. What am I missing? Where am I wrong? What do I need to learn? And then run with it. Maybe do some journaling, etc. So have an awesome Friday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.